People still believed her perception over reality, either because they were caught up in the shock and...
I actually want to stress on this because I got my own opinion why, especially people in LGBTQ, was quick to jump on this bandwagon. It's the heartbroken syndrome. Let's start with the most obvious example. A lot of us grew up loving these movies before we read more into them, and before we realized who she actually was. This broke a lot of our hearts, because a lot of us grew up loving these movies. Hell, some of us had cloaks, wands, and our dream pet what it was an owl. Until we realized we were promoting a Nazi. One broken heart. And a lot of us when we first heard about the shit that she was saying, we didn't believe it. When the people were telling us, hey, you know those the little dudes at the bank are anti-Semite stereotypes, we didn't really want to believe it, but we saw it. And then the obvious slavery. Again, a lot of us saw it, but we thought, okay, maybe in the next book there's going to be an uprising. She's going to make good. There's a reason that they have slaves. There's going to be some big moment where the slaves are free. There's going to be some reason this makes sense. And this isn't awful. Never came. Like, we wrapped our heads around why the awful shit wasn't awful. Until we realized it was written by someone that was just awful. And we were giving money to a Nazi that helped other Nazis financially. Second heartbreak. Especially for LGBTQ guys. More out than we were, like, basically waving the flag as free as they can.
Bourbon Country reacts. This is Dustin. He's our bourbon guy.
Successful, like, dude made millions doing what he loved. And he was as out as anybody can get. Elton John of the new millennium. No disrespect to Elton. Elton's our queen. Elton's everything. Only one that can compete is Gaga. But a lot of us put him on that pedestal until he kicked the pedestal out from underneath himself by allegations, and then more recently by what he said. A member of the LGBTQ should not disrespect another group. Anybody that we looked up to like this should realize that as long as we're fighting, we will never get to the level. Now, I know me saying this isn't as much as other people saying this because I pass. I hate using that word, but I do. And I grew up with certain...
So what's really cool about Bardstown is they really... I mean, based on their tour, if you have a chance in Bardstown to get
privileges,
any tour on the
male, cis,
and the Google of bourbon.
I realize this.
They're super high tech.
But when it comes to the rainbow, you kick out one of those colors, which he tried to. You weaken the power of what the LGBTQ actually is, what the rainbow actually does. And for someone so influential, so loved to do it. And again, talking about broken heart. Evil son of a bitch. But when I was younger, went over to my uncle's place all the time, listened to Noah, listened to Fat Albert, like those books on tape. Fucker meant a lot to me. And then I found out he was fucking evil. And this is the one that hit home the most. Not what he did. They sanctified him, but he was hiding pedos. He moved the most evil son of a bitches that people that did the most evil thing you can do. He hid them in God's name. He hid demons in the name of God. So like I said,
they can bring in their own.
The reason some of us jumped on the Jeffrey bandwagon
It's an amazing
is
video.
because we love Jeffrey. We love them.
So real quick on the Prisoner
But that's
before
what
we
made
get
us
into this,
suspicious.
This one's cool
Because
because
honestly,
straight bourbon whiskey that's finished.
a lot of us couldn't take that heartbreak again to find out, to fight and claw to say someone that we love is not an awful person, only for it to find out later that they are.
It's super like it's.
And if you want another example of the broken heart syndrome making you jump on a bandwagon that's just not true, this is proof. How many people jumped on this bandwagon? How many people that love this guy? The second the allegations came out,
This is one hell of a song.
because we didn't want to get our hearts broken again. So yeah, that's why a lot of us jumped on that Jeffrey bandwagon. It was not because we fully believed it. It was not because of hate. It was out of love. We loved Jeffrey so much, we didn't want to get our heart broken because of the other people we loved over the years. Now, there are 1,000 more examples of people that people idolized that turned out to be pieces of shit. Look at the NFL. There's people that motherfuckers idolize and want to be like, until it comes out they beat their wives, they do this, they have dog fights. People everywhere from WWE, Benoit, football, NBA, CFL, actors, musicians, down the line. There are people you idolize that when shit comes out about them, you're like, no, that's not them, and it breaks your heart when you find out they're just. So, what if a lot of people were just trying to protect themselves from that? Now that it's proven that she was full of shit and just tried to hurt a community that's hurting right now, and hurting a vulnerable community that everybody's going after, yeah,